everybody. It is Sunday, my most favorite day of the week. And I'm going live with a beautiful new Christmastime is Here suite the Stampin' Up! Has released starting November 1st to all customers. It is absolutely stunning, and it's only while supplies last or until December 3rd or November 30th. So it's a 1 month special. I'm going to show you all of that here in a second, but I have some exciting things to tell you about first. The first is, let's see, the first is I want to show you guys my new code. So this is November's Stampin' Reward. There's the code right up there in big bold letters. If you place a $50 order with me this month, you will get those Toil Tidings glitter enamel dots. They're in the holiday catalog. Have you guys seen them? They're absolutely stunning. I have some in person I can show you as well. Thank you to everyone hitting the shared button. I will tell you guys what you'll be entered to win here in a second. But I just wanted to show that to you real quick. And so you guys can see the fun new things you can earn by purchasing with me this month. Okay, so here are the Toil Tidings glitter enamel dots. Aren't those pretty? Real red and shaded spruce, I think. Super pretty. Can't wait to use these. So I will be giving those as my gift this month. Before I talk about the Christmas suite, I wanted to tell you guys something about my team. So as you guys know, my upline, who I signed up under, is Kara Payzant. And she actually lives 3 doors down from me. I didn't realize we were neighbors when I signed up under her. But it happened to be an absolute blessing because she signed up under Erica Serwin of Pink Buckaroos down in Texas. So I, by chance, was able to be on Erica's team as her level 2. And so when I had my promotion to gold, I got twice the goodies. I got goodies from Kara and I got goodies from Erica. And I just wanted to show you guys these, and not to brag. This isn't to brag or show off, but it's to show you that there's so much more to buying the starter kit than just the discount. It's about joining a family, a Stampin' Up! Family, and you meet these amazing women and you get these amazing perks for being on my team. So I want to show you, I got this adorable bag in the mail from Erica. Oh, the tag came off. It has this cute tag that she made. Look at this bag, you guys. I think it's like a brand that I'm supposed to know, Consuela. It's a Consuela bag. How cute is that? I cannot wait to take this to on stage with me. And then she filled it with gold goodies inside. So look at this. So this is when you promote to gold. She has gold enamel shapes, gold ribbon. That's that gold edge ribbon. She also gave me gold ink, the metallic ink, which is awesome. I didn't have that. Gold embossing powder. So the theme was gold, obviously. And she also gave me some of these shimmery glimmer effects. So that was really sweet. She also does a $600 club. So every month, anyone that hits $600 in sales, she gives them an embellishment, which I have in turn been doing for my team as well. So my team members, they get twice the prizes because they'll get something from Erica and then something from me and something from Kara. Kara does $5 coupons that you can spend with her for hitting 600. So that was really, really sweet of her. Again, I have the most supportive, amazing upline. And she also gave me a charm to add to my necklace. She does origami owl necklaces for all of her team. This is Erica. And every time you promote, you get a charm. And then Kara does charms for your scissors, which I put on my bag because they are in my way with the scissors. So I get a charm for every promotion. There's a star, a heart, a crown, and a key. And I think the star is was my gold one, I think. Not 100% sure. So anyways, these are super awesome. And again, you get the perks from me, you get the perks from Kara, and you get the perks from Erica just for joining our team, which means you just buy the starter kit, you get the discount. And like I said, there's so many perks to it. So if you've been thinking about the starter kit, but you're like, no, I don't care about the discount. Well, there's so much more to it. Free tutorials, free classes, free training, a family, It's just an amazing all around treat. So here is the suite that I'm talking about. This is the Christmastime is Here suite. You guys have probably seen a lot about it. I'm sure a lot of demonstrators have talked about it. I couldn't wait to play with it. I got a chance this week. So there are 2 stamp sets. One is the large rose outline. It is in a rubber stamp, okay? And then you have the pieces that stamp the colors inside. And this is a distinctive stamp, meaning it has the realistic lines and images etched into the photopolymer. So this is a photopolymer set. And I think they did it that way so that they could do 1, an easy outline, and 2, getting that distinctive look. And of course, if you're going to do 2-step stamping, you need it to be clear so you can see where you're stamping. You can't see through the rubber to line it up. So I think that's why they did the 2 different types of stamps, but I'm going to show you guys how to use that. It also comes with these beautiful framelets. One is the large rose. It cuts out the large rose. We've got 2 different labels here, and 4 decorative pieces. So we've got these 2 really pretty decorative pieces. We've got these 2 kind of trellis pieces, and it's just absolutely stunning. I love the large label. That's a really good one too. We're going to use that today. What also comes in the suite is this beautiful gold ribbon. So pretty. It's a 1/4 inch, which is perfect. It ties really, really nicely. Just tie a quick bow here so you guys can see how nice it is, how flat it lays, how pretty it is. Just stunning, stunning, stunning. So easy to tie. And then we have these gold glitter enamel dots, which are really pretty, which I used a lot of. Okay, and then the other thing that was in this suite, and I don't know if you guys can see it, is this really pretty gold bracelet. I have it upside down for you guys, but it has a rose charm and a Stampin' Up! Label charm. It comes in this really cute box that has the same paper as the designer series paper, so it matches. So it's a cute box that you could reuse for something else. And I absolutely love it. Of course, it goes with my gold promotion, which is really cool. And then I have this beautiful designer series paper. This is the Christmastime is Here designer series paper. And what I'm going to show you today is, 1, some of these rose images you can cut out using the framelets. So that's really cool. And 2, there's just some really pretty pieces in this suite. Some gold inlay, some really pretty decorative pieces on the back. Okay, so I have been designing with this, and I wanted to do a class with it, and I came up with a mini album. So I'm going to show you this mini album class that I'm working on, and I have it up in my Square store right now that you can purchase. And so I'm going to introduce you to my album. Here's my album. I was inspired by Erica Serwin's Wild Rose mini album, so I created my own using the Christmastime is Here suite. So obviously it unties. There's a really beautiful label, and it just folds open, and there's different things on each page. Look, see that gold decorative label? So pretty. And you just keep opening, and there's all these beautiful pages with the rose gold details, and it just keeps flipping open. You've got pieces with tags and things you can put inside. You can put photos matted. It'd be a perfect Christmas gift for someone. And I have the tutorial that I made, and I have an entire class designed around it. So it's absolutely stunning. I think it would make a wonderful Christmas gift made from the heart. It only took me a few hours to design, which means it would only take you a few hours to put together, because designing sometimes takes longer than actually putting it together with instructions. So this is my class. I have information about the class here. To order the class, you'll go to my Square store. I don't know if you can see that. There's the link to my Square store. It is on my project sheet as well. The deadline to register is November 17th, or when the suite sells out. So I'm going to keep a really close eye and try to order these as they go, because I don't want this suite to sell out. Again, it's only available this month. There are 3 options. Option number 1 is $39. It includes everything to make the kit, and it comes with a package of gold ribbon, a package of glitter enamel dots, half a stack of that designer series paper, and the PDF tutorial. Okay. Option number 2 is everything in kit 1 except you are adding the Christmas rose bundle, which is the stamp set and dies, and you're going to get the spool of ribbon for free. And I didn't add any extra shipping for the bundle, so $93. It's a great deal. So it comes with everything else, the gold glitter enamel dots, half a pack of DSP, everything cut and assembled, and a PDF tutorial. Option number 3 is just the PDF tutorial. And then I have an option number 4 for my team. Again, one of those perks for being on my team, the Pretty Little Stampers. For $15, you'll get all the stuff cut and scored for you, and then you go and order the supplies yourself, so you get 1, the credit, and 2, your discount. And then, of course, being on my team, you always get the free PDF. So that's my class. Again, November 15th or November 17th is the deadline. Make sure you register for that. I also have information about my bingo. I talked to you guys a little bit about my bingo last week. I have the link here where you can sign up. The deadline is November 20th. It's going to be live at my my studio on December 15th from 6 to 9. Or you can do Facebook Live bingo with us on December 8th at noon Pacific Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, or no, 2 p.m. Central and 3 p.m. Eastern. So it's $35 for bingo. It comes with 6 projects, 6 rounds of bingo, 6 prizes, and it's so much fun. So that information is there as well on my project sheet. Okay, guys, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to stamping. I think I'm done doing the little sales pitchy thing, okay? All right, so here is the 3 projects that I made today. And I wanted to keep this super simple because I think that this set can be a little bit overwhelming, especially when there's 2-step stamping to it. So I wanted to take it down a notch and let's keep it super simple. So the first one I did is because, one, I don't think that roses are very Christmassy. I didn't see the rose and think Christmas right away. So I saw someone do a border, and so I created my own border where I'm just using the pine needles and the pine cones and the berries and created a very simple yet beautiful Christmas card. Okay, so this is going to be project number 1, super easy. I even stamped the inside, did a little strip of designer series paper, and I just want to show you this is a 1-step stamp, really simple card. The second one is no coloring, no double stamping. It's simply stamping in Versamark and embossing in gold and just letting that rose be that center focal point. Adding some designer series paper, adding some of that ribbon, and stamping and embossing the Merry Christmas. So very simple and super easy to do, but also still really stunning. Good morning. Hello. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming on. Okay. Oh, and make sure you hit that share button. The prize for hitting the share button, I'll be drawing a winner next week, is this spool of the gold and metallic edged ribbon. Isn't that pretty? And if you go to my Rafflecopter blog, on my blog post and enter, you'll get entered to win my 3 make and takes from today. So this last one is probably my favorite, but super, super simple as well. Because remember I told you that the framelits cut out the rose from the designer series paper? This rose is cut directly out of the designer series paper, no coloring required. Simply stamped and embossed the Merry Christmas in the background, tied a bow, and added this cutout from the designer series paper to make this beautiful card. So again, I wanted to show you guys the simple side, but before we go into the projects, let me take you through the stamping and different ways that we can color these roses. Now, you've probably seen a lot of tutorials, but maybe you haven't. So I just want to take you through this just in case you're new to this, okay? So the best way, if you're going to be doing 2-step stamping, the best way is to use your Stamparatus. This is a Stamparatus. It's an amazing tool to have. You basically have these magnets to hold down your paper. This is grid paper. And you're going to first take out this foam mat because the first stamp that we're going to use is rubber stamp. So it has the padding already. It doesn't need the foam mat. So we'll take that out. So I'm just going to put magnets down to hold our paper in place so it doesn't move. and I'm going to take my rose and I'm going to put it where I want it on my paper. So for me, I just want it in the center. You fold over this clear plate and stick your rose to the clear plate. Okay? So now we've got that on there. The next thing we're going to do is take our Stays On Black ink and ink up our stamp. Now the really nice thing about, another really nice thing about the Stamparatus is that if I did not ink this up very well, or if it doesn't get a very nice dark stamp, then I can stamp it again. And it won't matter because it won't have moved. It'll be in the exact same spot that it was before. Somebody's saying, Janie asked if she missed the prizes. Janie, the prizes, there weren't any prizes from last week because I just went over the recap. There weren't any projects. So I didn't have any prizes to give away from last week. But this week I am giving away the make and takes. If you enter my raffle copter, and I'm giving away a spool of the gold metallic edged ribbon if you share my video today. Sorry if I wasn't very clear on that. Okay, so now you can see I've stamped it. I like the image. It looks good. Now I just want to clean off my stamp because it stays on and it will stain my stamp. So I'm just going to quickly scrub it off with a baby wipe. So the first thing we're going to do is use it just like the stamp designed it to do. And we are going to just stamp the center images over the outline. So Stampin' Up! Has these beautiful distinctive stamps that have these really detailed etched images inside of them. So you're going to take it and you're going to lay it over and you're going to line it up as best you can on the sides of like all the edges basically. So if my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. It's because I just need a straight on look to make sure everything's lined up. And the photopolymer stamps do stick to the paper and move it a little bit, which is kind of frustrating, but I prefer it because I like to see through the image. And I'm going to take this off because I don't think I need it right now. And there we go. It moved the paper again. All right. Just going to rub it really well. Good morning, everybody who's just started, who's watching. There, love it. Looks great. Okay, so now we're going to take and switch the plates. Actually, yeah, I want to switch it because it's just easier on the side. So now I have these other two plates that I can move either to the top or to the side, whichever side you're working on. And I can line up the next set of stamps. So we have the leaves right here. And you can do all of the leaves around the entire thing at one time. Just line that up as best you can because they're all going to be the same color. Just like so. So tell me, what is your favorite thing about this suite? Do you guys love the paper? Is it the embellishments? Is it the stamp set? Or is it the bracelet? Like I was totally, I'm not going to lie, I was totally attracted to the bracelet first thing. That was like the thing I cared about the most. I just thought, oh, I want a Stampin' Up! Bracelet so bad. So as my paper moved, I'm just looking through and just making sure this lines up okay. Okay, and then I'm going to use Mossy Meadow Green ink. So I was definitely drawn. Again, I'm not a big rose fan. I didn't think it was going to be very Christmassy, but man, it's such a pretty focal point. So you can make a bunch of these cards too. I want to point that out. You can make a bunch of these cards at once. Once you've got these all lined up and you know your lineup, you can just put in a cardstock, stamp, 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 put in the cardstock, stamp, 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 and just kind of assembly line it. So I think my Mossy Meadow needs to be re-inked, you guys. Have you guys seen that? It's like not giving a good solid stamp, but I don't know if it's the stamp inside or if it's my ink pad. I'm going to blame it on my ink pad. Okay, that's good. All right, and then we're gonna flip it over again, and we're gonna do the red berries. Now the red berries even line up perfectly, which is fun. So you've got your red berries here. You just line up each section with where it needs to go. And I was playing around with coloring these yesterday and just asking my family like which ones they liked best. And so I want to do that with you guys and see which ones you like best, because I won't tell you which one my favorite was until I'm done. But there's lots of different ways that you can color this flower. So you can see this is kind of time consuming, but once you get it set up, imagine how quickly it will be, because my rose is set up, my berries will be set up, my twigs are set up. So again, just this first time will be the time consuming piece, but once you line up every single other piece down, you'll be ready to go. So would I do all this trouble for if I was just going to stamp one rose? Probably not. But I want to show you guys that this is a great way, one, to make sure you line up exactly, like if you need to re-ink, and two, if you're going to do assembly line, you're going to make a bunch of these for Christmas cards or something. And I forgot to clean my plate, so I'm going to get green all over me and all over the project if I'm not careful. All right, so we're going to pick up these berries, put this back where it belongs, and stamp. Okay, so I did berries in Poppy Parade. You love the ribbon, Jenny? Yes, I love the ribbon too. And like I said, it's so fun to tie. It's really a nice, easy. All right. I can tell that the berries are not lined up, but that's okay. You can always go back over and color them in with the marker. I don't know why these ones didn't stamp at all. Okay, so there's the berries. Okay. Now we got the last thing is the pine cones, and those are going to be actually stamped with just a little, because there's only one pine cone, you're just going to stamp with a block. And it's really easy to line these up. So you just ink it up, go over the pine cone, and stamp. And if you miss it, you can just move over a little bit and stamp again. It'll be a dark pine cone. It's okay. Stamp and stamp. Okay, so there's this beautiful rose. Now you can, what I like to do is I like to take my Wink of Stella and I like to glitter up the rose even more. So I like to just run my Wink of Stella over the rose, and then I have that pretty shimmer and shine to it as well. So that's really fun. The other thing you can do is color this by hand, which is something I did. And if you know me, you know I love the blends, the new Stampin' Blends. So I want to show you that real quick because I think that it's really, really pretty. I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to take my stamp. And I'm going to put this right here. Now remember, if we're going to be if we're going to be coloring with Memento black ink, we need to use if we're going to be coloring with blends, we need to use Memento black ink. So I didn't clean the StazOn off of that all the way, but that's okay. So I'm just inking the rose with Memento, making sure that's really good and inked. I'm going to stamp it down. And we have this beautiful image. So then you take your piece and you can color it. Now I'm going to use the exact same colors that I did on the ink pad, and I'm going to just color my rose with light cherry cobbler. I'm just going to give it a base of light cherry cobbler, Now I like to use my brush tip when I can, but then on the edges you have to use your fine tip just so you're careful. And then you guys can tell me which one you like. So the first one we had stamped. Now this one's going to be colored. The third one, I'll show you what we'll do. And then you can tell me what you think. I always love your guys' opinion. It means a lot to me. So let me show you how I color this rose. Okay, so you can see I've given it a nice base coat. And then as you're looking at the petals, think about the shadows. Think about where the shadows are going to lie on a rose. So you're going to think, well, it's definitely going to be darker in here, right? It's going to have a lot of shadow. So I'm taking this dark fine tip pen and I'm just coloring in the center because that's going to be dark. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, where the petals meet, right? So where the petals fold, there's going to be shadow because the sun can't hit that, right? So I'm just kind of tracing around the edges of the rose because that inside, there's just going to be that shadow. So just giving it like a border, almost like tracing, right? We're tracing in some places. So just inside. This is very therapeutic to me. I just want you guys to know I love coloring, okay? And you can even bring the shadow out a little bit. Like let's say the sun is kind of shining this way. There might be a little bit more shadow here, here. Okay, definitely towards the outside of the flower is going to be brighter because more sun is going to be hitting it, right? But let's just assume that maybe down on this side of the flower, it's not. So then you'll take your light and you will blend those shadows, those shading that you did, so that they kind of blend in with the rose. And what it does is it leaves that outer edge that you colored with the light lighter, so that there are light points. It just kind of gives it depth. And that's all we did. We just literally just brushed our pen, our marker over it, did some lines, blended it, and then you have this beautiful rose. So do not tell me that you can't color like me, okay? Because that's all I did. I just gave it a base coat, did some detail shadows in between the petals. And it doesn't have to be exact, guys. There's some detail. That rose already looks pretty, already looks even prettier. And there's that beautiful rose. Now at the end, I'm going to do the Wink of Stella, but I'm going to wait until I've got everything colored. Now I'm going to take, because there's no early espresso, I'm going to take soft suede and I'm going to color the pine cones. Quickly, here's another pine cone. And I knew there was another one. Okay, so there's our pine cones. Now we're going to use Poppy Parade for the berries, and you can just use a fine tip. I'm using the dark Poppy Parade, and you're just going to color in all of these berries. Super quick. Just do a little circle. And since I'm focused on coloring, I can't read your guys' comments. I'm sorry. If I look up, then I color outside the lines, and I need all the help I can get staying inside the lines as it is. I think I grip my markers really hard because my hands always ache when I color. So just getting these pretty berries. Some more berries over here. This is fun to me. I could stamp a bunch of these and color them. Maybe that's what I'll do for swaps for onstage. Just stamp a bunch of these and color them while Jose drives, as long as the road is smooth. And I can just color the hours away. 14-hour drive. Get a lot of coloring done. My hand will hurt, definitely. Okay, and then I'm going to get Old Olive. Now you can do the light and dark shading thing again. You can do the base coat in light. And I'm talking shading, but I only mean these big leaves because obviously the pine needles. Oh, and there is a Mossy Meadow blend. I will grab that as well. I think that's what I used the first time, but oh well. I'm giving it a base coat of Old Olive. And as you get to the edges, make sure you use that fine tip just to be careful to stay in the lines. Okay, like so. And then I trace the lines of the leaf in the dark, in this case Old Olive or Mossy Meadow or whatever green you're using, but you'll just trace the lines. And that gives it kind of definition, right? Some like creases in the leaf. These are like the veins. Okay, I'm gonna get the Mossy Meadow out. And I'm gonna do the pine needles. Now, with the pine needles, they're so fine, right? So they're just really skinny little tips. So you may get out of the lines a little bit. So I'm not gonna be super precise on these because doesn't matter. It's okay. You're just kind of filling in, right? Just fill it in so it doesn't look like a drawing. It looks like more like color. Plus I like this two-tone of greens. I like the leaves being a little bit lighter than the pine needles. It kind of looks cool. So you can see I'm just kind of coloring in. There. Look at that. Of course, I got to get my Wink Stella and I got to pretty up this, glitter up this flower, because why wouldn't you use Wink Stella, honestly? Wink Stella should be on everything. Okay, so there's the colored one. Here's the stamped one versus the colored one. Very pretty, a little bit different, right? One's a little bit darker than the other. Okay, so one more that I'm going to show you that we're going to color. I'm using thick Whisper White for this one, and you're going to see why here in a minute. I'm going to put this on a block just for ease, and I'm going to clean it off real quick, and then we're going to stamp this one on in Stays On again because we're not going to use blends. I have to do a good cleaning of this when I'm done, but for right now it'll be okay because we're just going to get it dirty again. Cleaning up any of the excess. And we'll get our Stays On black ink out again. Yeah, I get car sick too a little bit, but it's gotten better over, like, as I've gotten older, because I used to get really car sick. But I think I could color. I think. I don't know. I'd have to try it. All right, pray that I get a good stamp this first time because I didn't put it on the Stamparatus. See, that's the bonus of putting it on the Stamparatus, is that if it doesn't ink the very first time, you can always stamp it again. All right, so it looks good this time. Okay, so the thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a little worksheet down. I'm going to get my aqua painter, and I'm going to color, watercolor with my aqua painter. So I put some ink, this is Cherry Cobbler, onto my inside of my lid. I just squished the lid. I got my aqua painter wet, but it's not too wet, and I just want to make sure it's not really bright, but I just want to start painting the leaves. And I'm kind of envisioning it going from dark to light, right? So center will be the darkest, and then we'll move out and use less and less color, oops, for the outside of the leaves. So go dark in the inside, light on the outside. So less ink and more water on the outside. Now I'm using thick Whisper White, which is holding up pretty good to the water. You can use watercolor paper too. You can also use that beautiful shimmery white paper, which is awesome. Okay, so there's one rose. Let's do, just filling in here. And not all roses are the same color, right? So they don't have to be the same consistency. So I'm just adding a little bit of darkness here because that's where the two roses meet and there might be a little bit of shadow. And the only thing with regular paper is you don't want to work it too much because then it'll start to peel up. So you can see the thick paper held out really good. Okay, so that's the flower. Okay. Now let's do the, oops. Let's do the green with the mossy meadow. Just squishing, so I want to make sure all the red is out of my brush. I really do think mine needs to be re-inked. I'm not getting a lot of color when I squish. Okay. And then when I was looking for the re-inker, I couldn't find it, you guys. Did I order this without the re-inker? Or the ink refill? That would have been bad. Now I am getting some of these berries because it's kind of hard to paint with those little berries, but when I go back over it with the Poppy Parade, the berries will come back. Okay, so just coloring the leaves. And this is just paint. I'm just, like, basically I'm just watercoloring. Just adding some paint. Very pretty, right? This is going to be more light than the other two, but it gives it a different look and it's really, really pretty. Now I can color the pine needles too. I can fill in and just kind of brush over the pine needles themselves. So many fun ways. And look, I hardly need any water. It's not like I'm going crazy with the water. Just making sure my brush tip is juicy, but not too crazy. Okay, just painting the needles. Okay, painted the needles. Now on to the next. We're going to paint the pine cones and then we'll paint the berries last. So right now I'm just getting out all of the green ink. We'll just squish some green or some brown. You think coloring is a lot of work for swabs? I think it would be pretty. And I need something to pass the time, mind you. I have a 14-hour drive. Okay, so there's our pine cones. That was easy, right? Even watercoloring would be fun, though it would take a little bit more preparation on my part. All right, so now we're gonna just dab the berries. This is the funny part. If your brush tip is fraying, like mine is doing right now because I'm on Facebook Live, try to get it down to a tip and just touch into the berries. Again, this is watercolor though, so in watercolor I feel like the rule is a little bit different when you get out of the lines. Like they're like, oh, it's watercolor, it's okay, because water spreads, right? I feel like I have a little bit of a pass with watercolors. Everyone's like, no, Tiffany, you really don't. But I feel like I do. Like, no, hun. It's my coloring, it's my world, right? And now I'm just getting sloppy, but you guys are probably tired of seeing me color. Okay. Okay, and almost done. And I will show you all three and you can tell me which one you like the best. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it. You can even do like a wash around it, like in a different color. Oh, let's try that. I just want to try that. I'm going to take Balmy Blue. I'm going to do a wash around the rose. Now I'm going to ruin it. But I think it would be pretty with a wash. If you didn't even want to cut it out, you could just color around it. Oh, so pretty. Oops, that was a little bit dark. Okay, this is like, I'm just having fun right now, you guys. But look. Made the berries bleed a little bit. Oh, so pretty. So like you wouldn't even have to cut it out. You could just have it as a wash. That's cool. Okay. All right. Done playing with the watercolor. Okay, guys, you tell me what you think. And you could even, once it's dried, put some Wink Estella on. What do you guys think? Which one is your favorite? Ooh la la, let's go dancing. So tell me what you think. So the first one here is blends. Second one is stamped. Third one is watercolor. Doesn't it add to the vintage? So cool. Which one do you guys think? Blends, stamped, or watercolor? Go ahead and comment below. While you're doing that, I'm going to clean up my mess a little bit, and we will get to actually making the ones that we you guys actually came here to see. Okay, so project number 1 we're going to do is the super simple stamping, and we're going to turn it into what I think is like a traditional Christmas card. Let's see, watercolor. Oh, you guys like the watercolor. Well, that makes me happy. Nice. Okay, so the first one, like I said, we're going to take some of the stamps that don't include the flowers, and I'm going to tell you, we're just using the inside piece. We're not even using the outside border, and we're going to stamp around the entire frame of this piece of Whisper White. Now, all the measurements for my cards are on the blog post. But this piece of Whisper White measures 3 3/4 by 5. And I have to get all of my stamps off of the Stamparatus. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use the 2 stamps. There's just 2. I just alternated 2 stamps of the pine needles. Just pine needles. I just put them on a block. And we'll just do 2 different blocks here. And I stamped in Mossy Meadow all the way around the base of the card. Okay, so I just did like right here, and then I would do one like right here. And it was every other one so that it looked different. You can do different angles each time. And this again is just that inside piece, not the border piece, right? The inside piece. And again, just in different directions, different angles. You can overlap a little bit. You can do whatever you want. It's your project, right? And I got a little bit of a line there, but that's okay. Okay, so then we've got those little pine needles around it. Now we're going to do the pine cone, which remember is just that little one stamp by itself. And this is going to kind of be filled in naturally where the space is, because there's like this natural space between these stamps for the pine cone when you stamp the big outline. So we'll just stamp the pine cones into these spaces, and sometimes you can do 2. Ooh, that's just one long one. Ooh, you can make a really long pine cone. Hey, that's cool. I just stamped, and as I went back, and it made a really long one. We'll do one right in here, this gap here. Anywhere else we see, maybe over here, sideways. Okay. So then you've got your pine cones, and then last but not least, we're going to do these berries, and we're going to do some berries in Poppy Parade. So these are on my plate. I think I'm going to use this set of berries here. I just need one. And you're just going to take the berries in Poppy Parade. Where is my Poppy Parade? Oh, over here. And there's nothing that makes my heart happier than being able to be creative in a different way with a stamp set. I love it. It's like, oh, finally. So you're just going to stamp these berries around. And I'm just kind of filling in where the white spaces are, you know. So, you know, don't have to go crazy with it. I feel like I kind of went crazy with it, but you have that. And then you'd stamp the Merry Christmas in Cherry Cobbler on a piece of Whisper White. And I think I have a piece of Whisper White here. Yeah, I do. Okay, so this is going to be our piece that goes just right directly on our cardstock here. Okay, and then we have this piece of Whisper White that we're going to stamp Merry Christmas on in Cherry Cobbler. So we'll get our stamp set out and get the Merry Christmas. Okay, put it on a block. And stamp. Okay, oh, it's so pretty. I love that font, you guys. Love it. Okay, so then we're going to take the label die. This is my favorite die in this entire suite. This beautiful label. Oh, come on. I'm going to cut that out. So pretty. All right, so get the big shot in. Like that. So just make sure it's straight. Okay. Now let's go ahead and glue our piece down. Guys, I'm at an adhesive shortage. And we'll just glue that down. And then we'll put this. But this is a piece of designer series paper that I cut. This is 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. Just cut that and glued it down in the center. That kind of broke it up a little bit, kind of made it look complete, I think. We'll take some dimensionals, pop them on the back of our label here. This would be a super simple card to make for swaps, don't you think? And just make sure that's centered. And there you go. And then for the inside, I just cut another 3 3/4 by 5 piece of designer series paper. You can stamp one of these really pretty sentiments. They have 2. It says, "Wishing you the gift of the season, peace and joy," or "May the Christmas fill your heart with warmth and love." And I like that one a lot. So I'm going to stamp that. Get another block here. Cherry Cobbler again. Stamp that in the center. Oh, I don't know why I closed that when I need it. I'm trying to clean up my space, but then it's like, no, I needed that. Okay, so we'll put that down. It's not quite centered, but that's okay. And then I have this pretty piece of designer series paper that has the pine cones and the berries, which is what we just stamped to the front, which I thought was very appropriate for this card. And we'll just glue a strip of that, which is 1/2 inch by 5.5. Just glue that to the bottom. You can also put some on your envelope, so you could cut this paper, you can put it on your envelope, or you could stamp, and you could stamp some more of these onto the envelope to tie it in. But super simple and more traditional card, right? Very pretty. So that's project number 1. Okay, project number 2, we're going to step it up a little bit. So what I have for this card is a piece of Whisper White for the Merry Christmas, a piece of Cherry Cobbler that's 3 3/4 by 5, a piece of the beautiful designer series paper. This is that rose you can cut out with the dies. We're going to use that here in a second. Here's the pine cones on the other side, and a piece of thick Whisper White. That's going to be our card base. So you are going to use this here, but we're going to stamp this in Versamark. So I have my embossing buddy. Guys, always use your embossing buddy, okay? Always, always, always. So just pass that embossing buddy across your paper. It has a powder in it that stops any kind of oils or anything on your fingers or anything sticky to the paper to stop it from sticking to the embossing powder that I'm going to use. So I have my gold embossing powder in a little tray, and I have my Versamark ink. Now this is that clear sticky ink that you're going to stamp onto your image. Now when it's a large stamp like this, I like to do it upside down so that I can see what I'm inking. It's a little bit easier to do it like this. So just making sure it's really good and inked up. And we're just going to stamp this in the center of our cardstock. And just press and make sure that all the edges are really well inked, okay? And then let's do the Merry Christmas while we have everything out. So let's go ahead and ink up Merry Christmas. And stamp that. I'm just rocking it just to make sure that the whole thing gets stamped. And then we have our gold emboss powder. And let's go ahead and put this in the tray. This is kind of my catch-all here. And I just pour it over. And the embossed powder sticks to the rose and nothing else. Let's do the same thing for our Merry Christmas. Very nice. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is take our heat tool and set it, or melt it, I guess you should say. It melts the powder. Okay, so I'm going to get my pierce tool because I want to hold this down so it doesn't blow away, it doesn't burn my fingers, and I'm just going to heat set this with my heat tool. Okay, wasn't that so cool? I love heat tools. I like the heat embossing because it's like magical when it all comes together. Okay, so now what I can do is glue this down to my Pretty Designer Series paper. I hate to cover it up because it's so pretty, but it's also the perfect background for this card. So you'll just glue this to the center. Now we need to tie a ribbon and a bow around the side before we glue it down. And again, I'm going to use this. This is part of the suite, this beautiful gold ribbon. So we're just going to loop it around. Now you can see I don't cut off my ribbon until I've tied my bow because I don't want to waste. I hate to waste this gorgeous ribbon. So I'm just gotta tie a bow real quick. You guys know how I feel about bows. Bows are like mascara. It's like the one thing you have to have, right? Okay, and then we'll trim off the edge or the extra. There we go. Now we have this pretty rose on the side, and now we can glue it down to our base. So I'm just going to use Terran tape. On your piece of paper. The Designer Series paper is cut to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, so it's really close to the edge of the paper. But I wanted just a nice little border so you could see it. Here's the Merry Christmas. The next thing we got to do is cut the Merry Christmas out. I did this by hand, and I just went around the words, just kind of weaved in between. Not super detailed trim, just kind of a nice curvy border. Okay, so there's Merry Christmas, and then I glued that on with the dimensional, or you can glue it directly down, whatever works for you. I'm just going to grab a couple dimensionals, slap those on the back. And, oh, no, not there. I'm just going to put this down here. How stunning is that? Super simple, right? So pretty. So there's another little beautiful card that you can do with this suite. All right, last, but definitely not least, I think is my favorite. You guys will have to tell me which one you like the best, but this is the stunning green. I love the green and the gold together. But this rose, I didn't have to color, I didn't have to stamp. I simply just cut it out of the designer series paper. And so I'm going to show you that here right now. You take the rose die, and there are different types of roses on the designer series paper. This is the only one that it will cut. I always find this large leaf and line it up with the large leaf. We'll get the big shot in and we will cut it out. So not even any stamping or coloring of this rose. That's simple stamping to me. I love that. Just cut it out. Cut it out, literally, guys. Cut it out. Now, if you see all those little red pieces on my big shot, that is from cutting out those decorative lattices, which are gorgeous. But they do leave behind a lot of pieces. So, there's that. You put the die back. Okay. Now, your Mossy Meadow is your base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. You have a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I did a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 piece of Whisper White to mat it. So first thing we're going to do, and you guys can see this is a scrap. Look, it covers up what I cut out. Cool, huh? Way to be resourceful. Okay, so then we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas diagonally across this piece of Mossy Meadow several times to make this pretty background. So again, it's just embossed with gold. I'm going to take my Merry Christmas stamp and my Versamark, but the first thing we want to do, like I said before, is emboss it with the embossing buddy. Cut it out. Janie's laughing at me. Janie, why are you always laughing at me? Okay. Why is it so quiet? Nobody's talking? Okay. So we're going to Versamark this and stamp. And that's what we're going to keep doing. We're just going to stamp this across over and over and over. The nice thing is that you can see the Versamark on the dark paper. So I can see where I stamped last and not worry about overlapping. Which in some cases, like if you're stamping on white and stuff, you can't see that. Okay. Oh, I overlapped, but that's okay. No one's going to see it. My little beautiful rose is going to cover it. And last but not least, just a little edge down there. Okay, so there's that. Now we're just going to heat emboss again. So we'll take our gold embossing powder, pour it over the Versamark. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side just to make sure I get it all. Tap off the extra. Oops, I made a mess. That's okay. Now let's take it, fold it, and dump it back in. And pour this back in its container. And all done. All right, time to heat set this. I love this card. Definitely my favorite. Here we go. I want to make sure I got it all. Is that not just the most beautiful thing you've seen? Oh my gosh, I love that. Then we're going to take this rose or gold ribbon and tie a bow. Come on, there we go. Tie a bow. Maybe. Doesn't have to be a big bow. Mine's apparently, no, I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. If I could get my paper to stay still, that'd be great. Why does it feel like when we're tying bows that we need 10 hands? 2 to hold the paper, 2 to hold the ribbon, 1 finger to put in the middle. It's like, oh my gosh. There we go. I like that bow a lot better. Okay. Now I kind of want it to go sideways because it's going to be on the side of my flower. So you can see here, there's just kind of this natural gap right here. And that's kind of where I pictured the bow going. It's just right there. So I'll put that right about there, which means that I can now put it on the back of my Whisper White. Now I normally don't put glue on the bottom piece, but because there's that giant hole there, I didn't want glue to go through. So we're just going to line this up. I hope you guys like my album class. I'm like really proud of it. Super excited for it. I'll show it to you guys again at the end just in case you came on late and you missed it. But on my project sheet has all of these upcoming classes, like my bingo and my album class. So put this on dimensionals right here in the center. And then again, this can just be glued right down on the card base. So this, I think is, and I'm doing it crooked because I like mine crooked. I can't stand straight. Okay, so this is my version of easy with these projects. My version of easy with this suite, but it's still very stunning. It's only taken me, a short amount of time to create 3 different looking cards. Like they are all different. And so hopefully you guys like them. Hopefully you love this suite like I do. Let me show you again my album for this class using this beautiful suite. Here's my album. And again, this class can be purchased on my Square store. So if you need the link for the Square store, let me know. And my bingo's coming up. So I have that. I hope you guys love this suite. It's just absolutely stunning. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today. You guys are amazing. I love going live with you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I love. You guys have an amazing Sunday and an amazing week, and we'll see you guys next week. Before I go to onstage, maybe I'll do a swap or something. All right, bye guys. See you later.